This is a question many people ask me, both teachers and parents. And sometimes you don't need to give explanations. Sometimes a child with selective mutism is accepted by his peers and plays with his peers and even have friends, and they don't ask about it. And then you don't have to raise the subject, as long as they're treated as regular kids by their peers. But particularly as children grow older, often classmates and peers ask, why doesn't this child talk to me? And sometimes they actually can even get a bit angry and be a bit insulted by it. Why won't Davy talk to me? And then you do need to give some explanation. So I would say that the explanation should include a few different parts. Firstly, to normalize. Everybody has difficulties, and this currently is Davy's difficulty, that he finds it hard to speak. He does speak, he speaks perfectly well at home, and he is a child who can speak. The second component, I would say, is to show that there is hope and that this is going to improve. And so you can say, Davy will speak soon, he's going to start speaking, and that's going to be lots of fun. And the third thing you can do, especially with older kids, is give a bit of direction. Obviously, you can't expect peers to be therapists, but you can say, you know, Davy is great at building with Magna-Tiles, or he's really good at drawing, so you can play with him with Magna-Tiles and he's going to build the best towers. So I think those are three components that are usually useful in talking to peers of children with selective mutism. Sometimes, as a psychologist, and this is for teachers and for guidance counsellors, when there are cases, usually older children, and usually when there is a kind of a negative vibe towards the child suffering from selective mutism, I have gone into classes and held group discussions about children's difficulties, and specifically often anxieties, and saying there are all different kinds of anxieties, and children and adults learn how to overcome their anxiety and to, despite the difficulty, overcome and in the case of a child with selective mutism, manage to talk. In the case of a child who has difficulty sleeping in the dark, manage to fall asleep and not worry about monsters under the bed, or children who are scared of dogs. So to make it part of a general picture of everybody has their difficulties, and this is Davy's difficulty. This has to be done with skill, and it has to be done in a way that is not pointing a finger at Davy. Davy is the odd one out. It's aimed to make it more normal, more part of the general rule, and that has been very helpful in many cases of getting the children in the class to include the child with selective mutism. But again, that has to be done with skill. So in sum, to normalize, to give hope that it's going to pass, and also to show how the child with selective mutism is so much more than his selective mutism. He's good at building Magna-Tiles, he's good at drawing, he's musical, he's sweet, he's kind, and he can be included in so many other activities, even if at this point in time he's not managing to speak. So let me add one more point, that statistics have shown that the number one fear in America currently is fear of public speaking. And everybody is scared of public speaking, even experienced public speakers. So this is kind of a variation along the theme, and it is something that can be normalized and that everybody can relate to, because it touches each person personally on a different level.